Hey everyone, I'm Amanda Rose. I am in this photo, a postcard from Yellowstone. So a lot of you know me from that. I'm the founder of Eat Like a Bear, and I thank you all for joining me today. I am going to be on YouTube Live a good bit more in the next few months because we have something really exciting happening in the community. I can hardly talk about it. I get a little bit emotional, and over the weeks, I will be telling all the stories, but we just hit a big number today. We have 75 century cases, and so I've lost over 100 pounds, 140 pounds, but I'm not even one of the 75. Maybe I should be. But we have so many people who have found me from this photo here and have just, really put their noses to the grindstone and have just done it and done it. And so we have people like Shelley who found us on day one of the Eat Like a Bear community back in July of 2018. And I'm sure that Shelley on day one never would have imagined that she would look like this and she would be out walking, exercising, like living her life. And the same with Georgia, who found us a good bit later. Georgia found us well over a year into the community. She found us in, I'm going to say it was November of 2019. And she had difficulty even getting around. And just months later, Georgia, this is Georgia. So you know Georgia from our community. Both Shelley and Georgia are half my size cases. I'm a half my size case. We have, 5 or 6 half my size cases. And now we have 75 people who have lost over 100 pounds. We know we're going to hit the century mark of century cases in the next few months sometime, maybe in the summer. And I'm terrible at celebrating. I never celebrate birthdays or anything, not even my 50th, but we're celebrating this one. This is a big one. And this is kind of the lead up to it. And so I'll be on here talking a lot about our stories. And I do know that a big part of our success is above average, it would seem. And a big part of it is what I call the perception of choice. That do we think Georgia really thought that she had a choice? But we all know we can kind of, trim up or whatever. But did Georgia ever imagine she would look like this? Well, it was stories like Shelley's that gave Georgia this notion that maybe she does have a choice. And we are changing the perception of choice in America is what we're doing, because we are the older ladies mostly. We've got men, we get you guys. Everybody's welcome. We've got some younger ladies and younger men, but there's nothing like seeing maybe your grandma doing it, that maybe when she's struggled her whole life, that makes you realize, wow, maybe I can do it too. I was really struck by that when back in August, so I was on Woman's World. Okay. So, and in near Nashville, a lady found this magazine. She's 75 years old and lives in Tennessee, not far from Nashville. And she wrote me a letter later, and it describes her own weight loss and the weight loss of 5 or 6 people in her family. And I realize that it is people like Janetta who are going to help us change the world. There is nothing like seeing 75, 78-year-old Janetta doing it, that it hits you here. It hits you here. And she is obviously a leader in her own family circle and has driven a lot of success on her own. And she's not even in our group. You guys, look, she writes on paper with a pen in cursive. I'm glad I can read cursive. Who else can read cursive? Leave a comment. Okay, but I said, ask me anything, and I'm going to start looking at your comments, but I've got some graphics and stuff if you guys want to know what we're about. If you're just finding us here, I'm happy to answer general questions, specific questions about anything. You guys test me and see. Okay. So, hey, Yvonne. Oh, thank you. Thank you, Yvonne. And oh, hey, Maya from Switzerland. Yeah. All right, Maya. And truly, oh, thank you. Thank you. My goodness. Cindy. Well, thank you, Cindy. Gosh, you guys. Okay. I can hardly handle all your lovely comments. It is like my oxygen. I'm going to say that, but it's this is emotional, isn't it? It is for me. This is certainly, I never imagined ever ever. I'm at my lowest weight as an adult. Um, when I took this photo in August of 2018, I was, and so I had this, and we knew we were recreating it, and then it would be something, and I knew, I would look different. I knew that, it up here. Then you see it, and I was speechless. I really was, and so even now, I get emotional looking at this, and this is a difference in 1 year. In 1 year, and then I see people like Shelley, who found me so early on, and she was our first century case, by the way. And you'll find Shelley in the group. She's one of the group leaders, and salt of the earth, as is Georgia. So I've shown these, and I get very emotional about this. This is unexpected for me, and honestly, it's like uncharted, because I would never have imagined being in the weight loss industry at all, because I think it's stupid. I think the industry, you guys can agree with me that the industry is stupid, can't you? And so I'm in it, and that bothers me a little bit. Okay, but I'm going to read your questions, okay? But if I seem shy about accepting compliments or whatever, it's because I get emotional. I try to keep my head on in these videos so I can answer your questions, okay? So, okay. Susan asks, do you need to start from scratch if you break your autophagy fast with a wee bit of something, or do you get right back into it? Hey, yeah, Susan, I think that's a great question. And first of all, we don't really know. There's a lot about like how many hours and what amount of food, but there probably never will really be any hardcore studies on autophagy. Okay, you guys, so autophagy. So what Susan is asking about, let me take a step back on this just a little bit, just for people jumping in here, because just to give you a little bit about what we do. So I have the book right here somewhere too. So I'm author of the book, Half My Size with a Ridiculously Big Salad. Okay, I eat my model. Now, people are doing variations of this in the group. So if you freak about this, don't, because just learn what it's about and adapt it. We have all kinds of adaptations, and we're featuring them on the website just to give you ideas, just to explore. But this is what I eat. It's big. Okay. So the Ridiculously Big Salad, it's a 1 meal a day model. And I realize that sounds a little bit crazy, but I love it. I love it because I get it over with. First of all, I'm really happy eating this. I'm full. I'm stuffed. And I'm stuffed and losing weight, which has never happened in my entire life. And so that is powerful. Okay. But also, so I eat, I'm happy. And I draw the line and I walk away from the food. Do not underestimate the importance of being able to just draw the line and walk away. I think that ends up being the winning strategy. There's a lot of reasons why it might be sort of easier with a salad, why this might be like a kind of a long game nutritional strategy. So a lot of reasons why I think this is a good way to approach the intermittent fasting part of this. So if you're new, 1 meal a day, it's a model that's part of a larger framework called intermittent fasting. And I'm getting to the autophagy because it's related to all this, okay? Intermittent fasting. And so I eat my big salad in 1 hour. So if this is 24 hours in a day, this represents the 1 hour, because it takes me like an hour to eat the salad because it's ridiculous. Okay, I'm eating in 1 hour. And so a handful of nuts, do I eat it here? No, because I'm not eating anything else the rest of the day. I just eat right here. And my husband, his adaptation of this, he would eat in about 5 hours, and he trimmed up a good bit. So he only had about 30 or 40 pounds to lose. He ate 2 meals in 5 hours. So the rest of the day, is he eating the nuts over here? No, he's not. And so what Susan's asking about is autophagy, because what we talk about is one of the benefits of this. So there's reasons this works for weight loss, but then just like the happy benefit of this is this thing called autophagy, because what happens after your body has essentially rested from eating for some time, some hours, we don't really know exactly how many, but it might be 15, it might be 20, we don't know. But here I eat, and then I have 23 hours off from eating. So let's imagine that my body, and so then after I enter a phase that's called autophagy. Okay, so that is where after this digestion is over and my body starts to wonder, is another meal even coming or whatever? And it starts to recycle some of the proteins in the body and put it to other use. And so there's like fountain of youth claims with autophagy that may or may not be true. I'm not sure. But the idea is that it starts using the materials inside and using it to rebuild your body. And the idea is it starts with like the lesser quality stuff and works and rebuilds it. And so this is a process that your body then moves into so you eat, you digest, and you enter into sort of somewhere in here. And we don't have for how long, autophagy. And this is like a body rebuilding phase. Okay. And so the question is, so if you're not eating and you enter autophagy, and maybe you're even skipping that next meal. Some people do, they'll skip a whole nother day, but that's another thing. But say right in here, you have like 3 almonds or whatever, okay? And does that break it? And what do you do? And so on one hand, the thing is, if you've only sort of broken it a little bit, it is going to be easier to kind of get back in, and there's probably a benefit to like being strict, but also that might be a good time just to eat. Okay, so and ultimately we're never going to really know, but I would encourage you, if you start thinking about like, oh God, I had the nuts and I kind of messed up, I would try to be strict about that for the autophagy reasons, but also you guys lean on this like draw the line thing mentally. If you can just not eat that thing, even that little bit of something, it is a powerful thing. Turn your mind off of the food. Try that. And I mean, get back to me on that. I find it to be a very, very powerful tool now that I've become more mindful of it. I'll tell you, as I like popped out of, as I got trimmed, that was, let's see, this is 2021, 3 years ago. Yeah, 3 years ago. Oh my gosh. So I'm almost 3 years into maintenance now. I had no mindfulness of what I'm saying to you here about like the psychology of this giant meal. So lean on that. I mean, that's something that 3 years ago, you're not going to even hear about in my videos because I just didn't even think about it. So people struggle with, oh, I'm going to have a little broth or I'm going to have a little bit of something in the rest of my day. I feel like it makes it harder because for me, if I just do that and walk away, it's easier. It just is simple. It just is easier. So we all got to find our own way though. And I'm going to just scroll up. I'm going to try to see. Oh, and Cindy, 57 pounds down since October. Well, those are some great numbers. All right. And so Cindy is 12 pounds from her goal. Congratulations, Cindy. And so Richard, thank you, Richard. See, I can't even read Richard's comments. You guys are just showering me here. I appreciate you. Honor me with your comments. And so Esther has to eat something to take medication in the morning. Yeah, so you just need to do that, Esther. So you don't stop your medications, okay? And what you can do to reduce the effect on your blood sugar, because that's one thing that we're doing in having a meal in 1 hour, or say like 2 meals in 5 hours, one here and one here, smaller meals, is you're not affecting your blood sugar throughout the whole day. And so Esther, what you're going to want to do is talk to your pharmacist and find out, first of all, like if you're taking it 12 hours apart, maybe you can take them 8 hours apart. That's a pharmacist question. It's just going to depend on what you're taking. Maybe 6. I mean, so tell them what your goal is, and also the minimum amount of food that you can eat. So if you can focus on having something that's more fatty, the fat does not affect your blood sugar like certainly the carbs do, and even the protein does more than the fat. And so you could have something like some cheese, and then that too is a pharmacist question. So like, I'm just going to have, can I have a little bit of cheese with this or something like that? Or like Jackie Patty likes to have macadamia nuts. So a high fat item, but just a little bit of it. So whatever like is the minimum amount. And see, that's the pharmacist question. So absolutely, you can do this. And that is how to minimize the effect on your blood sugar. Okay, so go to the pharmacist and ask and try to be strategic about it. And there's discussions about this in the Facebook group. So I direct you to that too. But really your pharmacist, because that's ultimately to get a sense of how far between you want it as close as you can get away with from the pharmacist point of view. And then to minimize, have like one tiny meal and minimize your effect on your blood glucose. So, okay, let's see. And oh, from the UK. Hey. So you guys, okay, Cindy, yeah. So we're talking about autophagy off the cuff. I should be more prepared to talk about that. I don't think I even have a video on that. But you guys, you definitely, if you haven't found Dr. Jason Fung, that's who you want to. You can find him on YouTube here. You can, and he has some great books on fasting and with a focus on it, and really discusses autophagy. So that's who I would direct you to. His stuff is really inspiring. So I think his books are just fabulous. And so Danielle is asking, now that I'm in maintenance, what does my eating plan look like? Are you able to follow your husband's plan of a 5-hour window? Okay, so Danielle, yeah, so I can, but I kind of don't. So I'm going to tell you about that. My husband, it's interesting because he actually has kind of moved more towards my model. So we're kind of coming together and meeting in the middle. So what I have found, so I went to like a 2-day or 2-meal model, and that's where I really learned the value of the 1 meal and hadn't really appreciated that might have driven a lot of my success in the rapid weight loss phase and being able to stick to it. And even in maintenance, you guys, it's easier. It's easier because the problem with the 2-meal model, and this is for weight loss and for weight maintenance, is I'll just be straight about it. You can eat a lot in 2 meals. I can eat a lot in 2 meals, really. So that's what you have to look at. And, we're kind of all different with that. I know I am really excessive. And so the idea of like, I'm going to just eat a smaller meal here and a smaller meal there, I struggle with that because I am happier eating the bigger meal. And if I have to have 2 half meals, and especially if it's in 5 hours, then there's a lot of hours of opportunity in there where I have to behave myself. Well, okay, maybe you're better at behaving yourself. But then you have 5 hours where you're thinking about it. And so you guys think about this. You're thinking about the nuts. Now I'm thinking about them now. I'm past my window, but see, I'm thinking about it because I'm talking about it. And so you have those hours. And I find like eat half a meal, half, like say I had in maintenance, I had something like the ridiculously big salad plus another smaller meal. Let's imagine I have that. And so maybe I start with a ridiculously big salad, and then about 3 or 4 hours later, I have my other meal. The problem is in those hours, I'm thinking about more food. What am I going to eat in 3 or 4 hours? And maybe I walk past the nuts and I think, well, maybe I deserve some nuts. Every day I feel like I always deserve nuts, but that's where I'm going to end up fat again. And, even nuts, yeah, they're keto or whatever. You can get some lower carb ones, but if you eat the heck out of them, you're going to be fat. So, yeah, so maintenance, I actually have moved back to, I do eat more than the ridiculously big salad typically most days, but I typically eat in 2 to 3 hours because that's just better for me. And then I finish. Like, I'm happy with my eating, and then I'm done. And I move on to other things. I'm telling you, that to me is the winning strategy. And I do think like somewhere in my subconscious, it was driving me through that rapid weight loss phase. And I really never appreciated that. Just, gosh, my goodness. Because you do a lot of things in the whole process of losing weight, and it's hard to know what specific things are important. And I'm going to tell you, I'm going to thank all you guys, because I don't think I would have ever even appreciated any of this. I might be fat again without this community. I might. I think there's a good chance I would be, because being in the community and interacting with people has helped me see the things that I'm doing, the aspects that are important and that are driving my success. So, wow. And Jules asks, my PhD. Yeah, my PhD is in political science, and so some of you guys in the psychology course that's part of the premium content know that my background is in social choice theory and political science. And that's like an area that, if you've heard of game theory, that comes from mathematics and like into economics, and it models people's behavior, kind of their economic behavior, but it's seeped into all areas of social science. And so political scientists like to use that kind of modeling to examine choice, like vote choice, different types of public opinion. And so I did a lot of choice modeling. And but in the recent years, I've worked for social service agencies in examining their grant programs. So yeah, but I'm a political scientist, a social scientist, and you won't mistake like where I come from in that psychology class, because what that psychology class is based on is some work that comes out of social choice theory. Basically, the theoretical background that I used in my own research for my dissertation, for instance, in some of my publications. There was writing from like the same like school of the same theorists, but it was about addiction and weight loss. I'd never seen that stuff before. I mean, we were applying these theories to votes and public opinion, and it never occurred to me to apply it to myself. And so when I discovered this, it was just over a year ago. I discovered it from a Psychology Today article. I just emailed the Psychology Today editor about this, because she and I have had a little bit of communication about it, that I found it there, and I found this guy's work. Like, oh my gosh, this guy's like, a brother or an uncle, to what I studied in graduate school. So it's a theoretical framework that I understand, just applied in a totally different way than I studied it. It blew me away. It blew me away how much it helped me kind of put up a mirror to myself. Crazy, crazy, crazy. Okay, I'm hoping I'm not gonna miss your comment. So let's see. Thank you, Cindy. My goodness, you guys. And so Heather asks, cream or milk? Well, so I would say cream it doesn't have the carbs that milk has. I definitely wouldn't have carbs. But I'm going to tell you what, Heather, if you can go with neither, you're going to lose faster. And the reason is, cream is delicious. I love it. I just had some in coffee. But if you can cut it back, see, it's all about like the quantity. I drink a lot of cream. Okay. I love to drink cream all the time. And you start doing the calorie count on that, you're going to burn, you need to burn through the cream before you burn through that, stuff you're sitting on right there. See, I still have it. You can hear it. Still some there. I don't need the cream probably in my coffee today either. And definitely this idea that you need it because you need like certain amount of saturated fats or whatever. I would just eat enough to have that meal help, satiate you, to have a little bit of maybe some current healthy fats in your diet, but you definitely don't need to have like a bunch. In fact, you're going to lose more if you can scale that back a little bit. Yeah. That said, like the ridiculously big salad is by no means a low fat salad. There is fat in the protein of some of them are lean proteins, but there's fat in the protein. And in, the homemade salad dressing, most of the calories that are in it is in the homemade salad dressing for one salad tends to be in the 400 to 500 calorie range, mostly because of the fat that's in it. Yeah. But you could double that too. You could have 1,000 calorie salad, or no, 1,000 calorie dressing in your salad instead of 500. So you could always add more, but you're going to have to burn through that first before you burn through your body fat. And so, the calorie model on its own, I've been on low calorie diets before and they didn't work. And I expect partly because they didn't include this intermittent fasting aspect. But the RBS model, the ridiculously big salad model, is calorie minded. Okay, so it kind of brings in all the schools together under one little umbrella. Let's see. Hey, Martha. Hey, from North Carolina. You guys, so starting maybe next week, so I'm going to start coming on here and telling you guys some stories about how we got started. I think we got some really interesting backstories. And I was just talking to Robin Dukes in the group because she's from North Carolina. She's from Asheville. And I was talking about, I created a heat map. I don't have it here, but a heat map that shows the distribution of people in the group. And so we have a little presence in North Carolina. All right. And including Martha, you guys. So let's see. Hey, Tony. I'm glad you're here and getting started, Tony. Awesome. There's a video, I posted it in the group today, but it's from maybe 3 or 4 weeks ago here on the YouTube channel about day one and kind of getting started and like that whole issue of kind of latching in and getting that momentum. And so you might scroll through the videos on this channel and find it, Tony. But you know what? The thing is, it is hard to get through day one. So I'm glad you're here. I'm glad you're here on your day one and like work like heck. And then feel that power, especially as you get to the end of day two. Do you guys, I mean, that's when I hit like that point of like, wow, I'm doing it. And that empowers you. And that feeling of power, that momentum you start to get, remember it and keep it. And this is why like the cheat days and stuff, I don't think are good. You got to do day one all over again. Who wants to do day one all over again? So we're here for you, Tony, on your day one, and just keep a hold of it and just grind all the way to the finish line. All the way, all the way. That, I mean, it's the only reasonable play. You guys know, I mean, it's hard. It's hard to get started again. Getting started is hard. It is for everybody. Yeah. Okay. And Sharon is struggling with getting hungry later in the afternoon. And would you recommend I add more protein or cabbage or both? Okay. So yeah, Sharon, I would definitely, I would say, you say, or cabbage. I would add cabbage. So first of all, a clarification. Sometimes if you're feeling like you're not you're still kind of hungry after that meal, I think that's where apple cider vinegar really in the dressing, maybe if you're doing a salad, or you can add it to a sauce or just kind of swig some diluted before you eat. Apple cider vinegar really helps you feel more satisfied with your meal. And I do know that I have days where I eat like, it's like, come on. I mean, I've just stuffed myself and I still feel hungry. I mean, that's not real. But apple cider vinegar just really takes care of that sort of right at the end of the meal, or, like bringing that meal to an end. So if that's it. But then there's this other issue of, oh, it's 4 hours later and I'm hungry again. That's where I do feel like, first of all, the ridiculously big salad does a better job than the cooked, because we have the cooked RBS recipes in the group, right? This is a little bit superior to the cooked because of this exact reason, which is I feel like it carries you longer into the day. So if you eat at 10 a.m., it's going to carry you into more hours into that afternoon. And what I found, Sharon, is so I would eat it maybe in the 10 to 12 range. And then consistently by about 5 p.m., I was feeling a little peckish. I mean, all the time, every day. And now, so hunger, not like on other diets. So let me be clear, not like I'm going to want to chew my arm off kind of hunger, but I was hungry. And so what I started to do was, in advance of that 5 o'clock hour, so maybe 4 o'clock, that's when I started drinking seltzer. And so I would typically get just like a seltzer. I had one of the Soda Stream, where you make your own. And then I squeeze some lemon into it. And I usually have stevia. So stevia is an herb-based sweetener. And I would tend to have stevia or monk fruit, but and I would personally stay away from the artificial sweeteners, but some people have them. But you could just have like a lemon water, or just seltzer, just water. And the seltzer takes the edge off. Okay, so it's not like a complete solution. It takes the edge off. And if you can have activities planned or something, if you can be doing something else in those hours, knowing that's going to be a time you're going to struggle through, you can kind of train yourself past that. And even now in maintenance, so I do start to feel kind of hungry late in the day. And as I go to bed, if I really start thinking about the food, I'm going to get real hungry if I let myself think about it. And so I don't let myself think about it, for one thing. And I do know, I'm very, very aware, if I give in tonight, tomorrow's going to be that much harder, because you do train yourself through it. And increasingly, I really see that little bit of hunger that I feel in the evening. As I feel it, I think, wow, this is a sign of my success, that I can just push through this and not really worry about it. So I think to work on like the psychology of it, but to have the tools of like the seltzer could really help, Sharon. So why don't you give some of those ideas a try? But the cabbage, because I didn't completely finish on that. If you can kind of extend. Okay, so I said apple cider vinegar if you're having a hard time getting full with the meal. But then if it's a matter of it's 4 hours later and you're really hungry again, the salads work better for that. And cabbage in the salad works better than some of the other lettuces. I don't know why. I mean, it seems to. And so, yeah, you could add more cabbage. Like even mixing cabbage in with another lettuce helps fill you up faster with that meal and maybe go a little bit longer with it. So I would definitely play around with some stuff like that. Yeah, I would. But the seltzer. I don't know how I would have done it without the seltzer. And isn't that a simple tool? My goodness. So, okay, let's see. And I'm just, oh my gosh, you guys, I'm so behind on questions. Okay, so you guys, let me scroll down and let's see. Let's see. Oh, Brenda's from Utah. Awesome, Brenda. Yeah, we have a lot of people from Utah. I'm so excited about that. And I'm just scrolling a little bit here. And Brenda, yeah, door open or shut. Yeah, that's right. So Brenda's saying she's kind of all or nothing, I think is what Brenda is. Like I think a lot of us are, you guys. So just start thinking about that and making this work for you because I think a problem has been that the main diet programs are giving us the message of moderation, which that works for people in weight loss, right? But when we're really excessive, like a lot of us are, it's a hard one to really embrace. And so we might need to think about things a little bit differently. And so this all or nothing way of thinking, this is why the one meal model works for me. Eat, be happy, and then move on. Okay, yeah. So let's see. And let's see. Tony, yeah, my book, this book is actually only available on the website. I need to hustle an Amazon human because we've been trying to get it on Amazon. And you can see this, there's an article on the website about the post office. Find that article. It's on the homepage. You can click and read it and see how ridiculous it all is. But actually, so this is the book, but there is actually, you guys know there's another book. Got it right here. This is like a little preview copy. This is not for sale yet, but this is based on the 3-day challenge. And I'm so excited about it because there are lots of people in it who you all are going to recognize. And if you think about weight loss books, they don't typically have many cases in them and stories, and we are filled with the stories. So there's a whole gallery in the back of all kinds of wonderful, amazing people. And so this is a great like getting started sort of book. And it only has a 3-day challenge recipe. So it's not a recipe book at all. This is the framework book. And this is a great getting started place. So that book is about to be available. I hope they're both available very soon on Amazon because it's kind of ridiculous that we're not on there. But we will be. We will be. And so, thanks about the psychology module. And you guys, if you're in that in the next week, you will hear about getting access that I have reorganized it and it created a little area on the website for that content because we really outgrew how I was delivering the content. A year ago, I set that up and had a slick little delivery system. And as I've added content to it, it's just gotten too much. And so it's about to be, all will be revealed within a week or so. Yeah. So, and am I still taking the apple cider vinegar before meals? So a lot of times it's in my my actual what I'm eating. In that case, I don't worry about it. And then a lot of other times I forget because I don't have the same needs. When you're trying to just limit what you're eating to try to kind of push through that weight loss phase, you use it more as a tool for that. But in maintenance, I haven't bothered as much with it. Maybe I should, because you do definitely end up fuller faster. I do. And I'm curious, you guys, you'll know it immediately. That's what I love about it. Apple cider vinegar is cheap and a lot of people already have it. And so you can just try it. So take like a couple of ounces, dilute it. You'll never if you shoot it straight, you'll never do that again. Okay, don't do that. You'll burn your insides up. Okay. Dilute it with a few more ounces of water and just chug-a-lug it as you're fixing your meal. And tell me if that doesn't make you fuller a lot faster. I mean, I'm shocked by the how full I get. Like sometimes I don't even want to take it because I want to eat more. Okay, I'm going to just admit that. Okay, and so try it. Just try it. See what you think. So, hey, Tammy from Arizona. All right, and so Tammy, yeah, it is. So Tammy fell. Did you say fall? You fell off, Tammy. I did a video last week, I think, about falling off the wagon. Don't use that term. Okay, watch that video and you'll see what I'm talking about. And that video it's more about, so we use that term for so many things. And so I just take issue with it in the video and say, you didn't fall off, because that suggests like some passive use. You did that thing. And so I think an important part of us in getting control over this weight problem is recognizing, yeah, we did it. I mean, there's so much about this. It's all about us kind of taking control of our lives, for goodness sakes. And it's difficult because all of us are different, and we're different, and we're kind of not different. But so what I mean is, like, my husband, he ate out of control for 30 years and he gained 30 pounds. And I didn't eat out of control. I ate in a restricted way for the same 30 years, and I gained 140. So life is not fair. But in fact, and it's in this book, it's in the Jumpstart book, I've got a quote where I said, well, but I did that. I did gain the 140 pounds. But is it fair that he only gained 30? Well, no, of course it's not fair. But I have to admit that nobody but me gained the 140. It just, if I ate like he did over all those years, I mean, I would have been on my 600-pound life or something, really. Okay. And so, and I do have to be more strict now in maintenance than he does. And that's just how things are. And I choose it because the value that I get out of the strictness and the disciplined eating that I have now far outweighs what I was eating before, or like drinking. You guys know I was an alcohol drinker. I was like a big nighttime cocktail drinker. So I'm scrolling down again, and there's no cocktail. I was making the best ones on the planet, by the way, truly. And there's no cocktail on the planet that can compete with being able to get out and hike. Just, that's how it is. So let's see. Malaka, I'm a pastor at my church, and I bet others join me. Oh, awesome. I lost 60 pounds since August, and another member has lost almost 25 since January 4th. You guys, that's wonderful. And so, now is that UMC? So is your YouTube name, I wonder if it's your name or if this is your church. Well, welcome and wonderful. We have a little church near here that, like, we're kind of viral in the church, and the pastor even mentioned it in his sermon at one point. And it all started with one of our original members from 3 years ago. And it's stories like that that are blowing me away. And those are the stories that we're going to be telling in the run up to our big, so I've said it in the first part of this video that this day, we hit 75 century cases. So 75 people in our community have lost 100 pounds or more since finding us. We've had other people who have gotten to that marker after having lost, a good bit, and then they lost the rest here. Like Iola, who's in the group, and she lost, 60 pounds before she found us and hit a stall. And then since then she's lost, another 70 or something. And so she's a century case. But she's not in the 75 because she hasn't lost 100 just with us. So just like a little measurement thing. But we need Iola's case on our website because she's just phenomenal. And we have other cases on the website, like Robin Dukes and her 40 pounds. And for those of you who know Robin Dukes in the community, we always talk about her abs because she's got these washboard abs and all this. Like, whoa. Okay. So, and Jackie Patty and her like notoriously slow weight loss. She lost 60 pounds in a year. Oh, how sad. Well, she completely reversed her diabetes and changed her life. And so, but we do have this current countdown of the century cases, and we're going to hit 100 probably sometime this summer. And so, as we hit that marker and celebrate, we're going to be talking about a lot of stories. And I'm curious to hear more church stories because, I mean, that's a key place where people are social and congregate and find leadership, in their lives. And I know in this little church here in Terabella, that was the case. And I know another lady in our group named Sean Teddick is active in her church. And I don't know how many people have ended up in the group from her. And she's also an RN. And so I suspect a lot of people look to her for leadership, opinion leadership on things that are health related. And so she has that, plus she's active in her church. And so she's naturally like socially tied. And so people see her and say, what the heck? I have a picture of Sean right in here. So yeah, this is Sean with her granddaughter. And so there they are. She said like, wow, I could actually fit in that. And I think Sean's lost about 100 pounds. And and she's able to get out and be active. And so people see her and see and in her life and ask, and she's already providing that like social leadership. And so she's driving a lot of cases herself. And we have a lot of little viral clusters and driven by people like Sean. And so thank you for representing in your church. And I'd love to hear more stories of churches and other like local networks. So just in the United States, the church, people's local churches happen to be one of the main ones that people lean on here. Let's see. And let's see, I'm just scrolling down. And we have some spammer messages in here. It's kind of, I'm going to hide them. And I think I'm getting used to the YouTube interface. But let's see, Molly says, what about cooking dinner for others? How do you do that? Doesn't the smell tempt you? How do we do that without going crazy? Molly, I would tend to prepare those things when you're preparing your own main meal and having them ready, maybe just to warm up, if that's what it is. Because what you can do is you can take like if you're doing the salad model, the protein that you use for that, you can use for the family. Like sometimes I might have, the kids might have like some kind of noodly thing underneath their protein. And so then you're kind of only cooking once. And so I would get strategic about some of that. And other meals in the day, I'm like notoriously like have them eat a sandwich or whatever. So but I would look for cooking solutions that use the things that you're using for your meal and leverage it for their meals too. Yeah. And I'd also start working on the family getting involved in the cooking. I know that's hard. I know. But I'll tell you what, actually, that has been kind of an unexpected structural change with us in our little family unit. Is when I first got started. I know this sounds maybe kind of harsh, kind of radical, but when I did in my first month in particular, in advance of that, I announced to them that I was taking off the month. And I actually told them that leave me alone. I'm focused on this thing. And to only let me know if the house was on fire. Otherwise, don't bother me. And the fact is, they survived. They did just fine. And they even came out of that with maybe a little bit more responsibility. And so and with a change in the expectations about who was doing what. So if that at all works for your family structure, I recommend that. Just to kind of, make a big break, a clean break from things. And some good things can happen from that. Because, frankly, some of us do too much for some of these other guys under the roof. Frankly. So look at that, but you can definitely find some strategic meals in there. I know that my husband buys some of the ready-made things from Costco and that sort of thing that he always has in the freezer just in case. And so you can keep some things around like that too. And Sharon asks, do I think the SodaStream is a good item? I heard you mentioning it Just wondering about your review, Sharon. You know what? Like, SodaStream should find me, and I don't use sponsors or anything, but oh my gosh, SodaStream. I have been in Costco when they've been demonstrating it, and here's the thing, Sharon. My SodaStream, I should take a picture of it. It's one of the originals, and it has stood the test of time. And so I was one of the original buyers of this thing before it had distribution all over the place. I had to like special order it from their website. I'm going to say that was 15 years ago. And I really like it. I like it because I can control the amount of carbonation in it. And then you don't have all the plastic bottle waste. So I think it's great. And my water quality is really good. So why would I want somebody else's water in a plastic bottle when I can have my own water and just put bubbles in it? So it's perfect for my situation. And mine's lasted all this time. And so then the ongoing cost is just the canister. And those, get kind of expensive, but nothing like getting the bottles all the time. So I do thumbs up on the SodaStream. Yeah. Let's see. And oh, you're down 8 pounds. So Oily Mama is down 8 pounds. Don't you love YouTube handles? And let's see. And so Oily Mama says, this has really messed up my system and I have to run to the bathroom. Okay. Is that normal? Yeah, sometimes there's an adjustment period. But one thing I always suggest, this is something that happened with my husband, is he was blaming it on the meal itself. But what he was doing is he was finishing his meals with a sugar-free candy that had like a sugar alcohol in it or some kind of sweetener like that does have an effect on your digestive tract. And I said, hey, look, you're eating this thing, though. Why don't you cut that and report back to me? And it was that. So to some degree, there can be a transition, but I would say I would look at the specific things that you're eating and seeing if there might be a culprit. And sometimes it's those sweeteners, like when people transition and they suddenly switch the sweetener. Some of those things, guys, like the erythritol or some of those, if you have too much, it will cause gastric distress. So I would look at that. And in the group, in the guides at the top, there's all kinds of discussions about this. So scroll through all that and see if any of that sheds light on what's going on. Let's see. And so Vicky says, I cook the same protein for everybody. Mine goes on with an RBS and they have their starch or canned vegetables. Yeah, exactly. So that's exactly it. You can basically, it's like when you go to Chipotle and you get like the chicken on the salad and then somebody else gets it on the rice. Same thing. Just do it at your home. Yeah. And Christy says, I have a lot to lose. Half my size would be my goal. All right. Is there a way to help prevent loose, hanging, sagging skin? Also, if I incorporate weight training or strenuous gym activity, should I adjust anything? Christy, welcome. Welcome. And I am excited to hear your half my size announcement. I have a video on this very channel about loose skin, so do be sure to watch that. And I'm getting my courage up to do another video on that because it's been almost 2 years, and to show my wiggly jiggly skin again in public on YouTube. I'm going to say that the intermittent fasting piece of this, Christy, is a game changer for loose skin. It is good that you found us if you're needing to lose that much weight, and you will find that that one meal model, it's going to be powerful in helping with that skin. That said, I got a lot of loose skin still, okay, but nothing that I feel like is needing surgery. If I had maybe started at a higher weight, so I started at 280, had I started at 380, had I been older, I'm 52, then maybe I would need surgery, like in my stomach area, for instance, just, to reduce that apron, right? And if I had the money, maybe I would do that. So anybody who has that extra and has the resources, by all means, but mine is not bad enough for that. And you'll see, just go watch the YouTube video. Oh my God. Because I literally show my stomach skin and even my back thigh skin in the video. Okay. I'm deciding if I'm going to say something right here. I'll just say it. I found footage of my fat thighs, before footage. I don't know that I'm brave enough to ever show that. I might show it sometime. But you can find my stomach on YouTube in a very strange moment. Okay, so who thought I would be on YouTube showing skin? Okay, let me look at more questions. Did I already get so distracted? Loose skin, find a loose skin video. And yeah, I mean, you're going to have some loose skin probably when you're end up half your size. And so, to some degree, so what? It is far easier to live with the skin loose than it filled up, okay? So just push forward and do it. You'll see a related video that I did on hair, and I think I'll do another one. I'll build up my courage for the like big skin reveal again, and it's definitely for the thighs. I don't know if I can show that, but my neck skin. I remember when in the first few months, my neck was just so wrinkly, and it's wrinkly, okay, because I'm 50, right? So let's be real, but it was extra wrinkly and scary, and so you go through a phase in that beginning stage. I did, where I felt like, wow, this is so bad. And if it gets worse as I lose more weight, I mean, it was kind of terrifying, but actually kind of worked itself out. And now I have like just normal 50-year-old skin. So, I mean, I'm not trying to oversell this. I haven't been cured of wrinkles, but I think you go through a phase of like terror. So if you're in that phase, just keep going. Watch my, there's videos on here from 3 years ago. This channel, I was just doing it for some friends. If you find like the oldest video, I hate to even say this because I haven't even watched it, but you can probably see a difference in my skin. Yeah. Okay. I'm getting distracted and kind of freaking myself out. So let me scroll up and see if I can, Sharon's asking, do you think diet soda is helpful? Sharon, we've had people who have broken through stalls, given up drinks that have artificial sweeteners in them. And so I would caution you against most of the diet sodas in the marketplace, because most of them have artificial sweeteners like aspartame. I do drink Zevia at times, which is a soda that is sweetened with the herb stevia. And I have not had a problem with that. It seems like some people have said, oh, people have broken through stalls giving up stevia. I don't think we've had someone specifically say that that's their case in our group. It could be. But we've definitely have had people specifically who were stalled and gave up a diet soda and broke through it. So I don't know. I would be a little concerned about that, especially if you're not. I mean, if you're already kind of addicted, it's one thing, and then you can try to give it up over time. But I wouldn't bring it in. Like if Sharon, if right now you're not drinking that, I wouldn't start drinking it at all. I would definitely do like the seltzer, and put a little stevia in there, but not like a diet Coke kind of. Yeah. And let's see. Linda fills up on the smells of cooking. Interesting. I'm an avoider of the smells. So, but good for you, Christy. Like, take it in, like, make that your experience. That's cool. That's awesome. Now I don't know, but I do draw the line, because I definitely draw the line on not eating it, because I do know once it goes in, I'm going to just keep eating it. Yeah. And so Tony says, is stevia with erythritol okay? So, that's one that, you know what, a problem that I kind of have with erythritol is it's, the taste of sugar, and that lingers there on your palate, and you kind of want more sugar. So there's that. Yeah. So I'm a kind of a just stevia kind of girl. And so Maureen is from Alaska. Hey, Maureen. Awesome. And, you've been yo-yoing since 14, like all the rest of us, Maureen. Oh my gosh. And you're 45, and you're down 78 pounds, newly motivated. Yes, because Maureen, we need you in our century list. Oh my gosh, the 22 pounds. go get it, Marine. So now it's like it's a race against time to see, will you be like number 97 or just get like 102, case number 102. Oh my gosh. I didn't really appreciate this until right now, Marine, that we're going to have a contest. And 22 pounds, it's kind of a question of how many. I think we have cases we haven't found yet. So some people they're kind of out living their life and haven't reported back, and we're going to find them. So I do wonder if we have officially, or we're going to have more than 75 once we kind of find them all. But I think we're going to hit the 100 in probably 3 months. So, Marine, 3 months. That's kind of 22 pounds is totally doable. That's totally doable, but you got to focus on it. So, but the great thing, weather is totally doable, but you got to focus on it. So, but the great thing, weather is improving across the country. So, Marine, you can get out and hike it off. All right. And let's see, Sue, how do you gauge how much to eat? I think my gauges are off a bit. Yeah. So, well, I use my model. So the ridiculously big salad is a framework. And the big thing is that the big strategic part of it is this lettuce part, because that's like the filler that is low in calories. And so how do I gauge? I make sure I'm satisfied, and then I stop eating and I just turn it off and walk away. So, but yeah, I encourage you to, get the book if you haven't. And if you're struggling with like how to craft the meal, anyone who hasn't taken the 3-day challenge should take the 3-day challenge. You can do that right now. Just put your email in on the website. But if you want more in terms of like I would really direct you to the book, because the ridiculously big salad book. There's recipes, and there's salad dressing recipes and crafted salads. There's a 6-week plan in here with a shopping list, and so that you can really focus on building those salads and building them within the framework. So it's a good tool for that. But as I mentioned earlier, there's a second book that is almost about to pop, which is the Jumpstart book. So we'll be talking more about this. But if you're looking at like fine tuning on crafting your meal, then I think this is the book, the Ridiculously Big Salad book. I mean, especially if you're crafting salads. And there's a cooked recipe in day 2 of the 3-day challenge. So if you're looking in the cooked direction, look there. There's not a book yet on the cooked recipes, but there will be. That's in process. Yeah. Okay. So, hey guys, so pop in some other questions. I hope I feel like I might have missed some, but go ahead, and if you're here just joining, before I take off, pop in some more questions. And let's see. And someone named Hacker Martina. Okay. Hey, Hacker. Give you some tips to lose weight. Yeah. So, get to like anyone who is just finding us and getting started, the 3-day challenge on the website is absolutely what you need to find. In fact, I have right here the legitimacy of the 3-day challenge. It was featured on a magazine cover. So speed off 17 pounds. This is our group record for the 3-day challenge. 3 days. This 3-day refers to the 3-day challenge. And here is our own Melinda Truxell from the community. And this article in Woman's World was about the 3-day challenge. So it's free on the website. It has driven a lot of success in the community. It was the success of the 3-day challenge that led me to write this book, which is almost available. But the 3-day challenge, it's free. Okay, free. So just go find it. And it's a series of emails and videos, and where I walk you through the meals each day, why they're working, and you can start it now. I mean, right now, for free. Okay. All right. So let me scroll down for more questions. Let's see. And so you guys, moving forward, so Thursday at the same time, I will come back on live And I'm hoping at that time to test some software here, because I'm trying to work my way up to being kind of high tech with the lives, and to bring in a little bit of like little pre-recorded videos so I can show you guys some things. So, but I'll definitely be here at least like this on Thursday for you at the same time, which is 1 p.m. Pacific, 4 p.m. Eastern. And at that time, we'll see. We're at 75 today. Maybe we'll be at 76 century cases on Thursday. We might. We really might. We've had a lot of people just in the last week. It's crazy. So we'll see where we are there. And very soon, I hope to have a regular schedule for the next 2 to 3 months for YouTube live videos. This is like, let's focus through, get out of COVID, dial in again and tell the stories. So, because we're going to hit the century mark, and it's not going to be like every birthday of mine that I have not celebrated. We're celebrating this. We're going to celebrate it big. And so I've been doing a bunch of work on the website and the premium content, the courses and stuff. That is about to be like all new and spiffy. And when I'm able to get my brain past that and get out of the weeds of that, that's when, you're going to start hearing the stories, and they make me all emotional. I'm going to admit it. So it's hard to even start talking about them because I'll just get real emotional. So I have to get the other work done first, and then we'll be back because we're going to hit this. We're going to hit it big, and that's going to be my full-time focus. We're getting more people profiled on the website so you can learn about their stories and what they're doing that's working for them. We have lots of people with lots of ideas, crafting things in various ways. And ultimately, that's what each of us has to do is really, take what's, try to learn why something seems to be working for a lot of people. And then would that work for you? If not, tweak it a little bit, adapt it. That is what is driving all the success that we're having, is that culture and that mindset of like, let's learn about it and then let's modify it for our own purposes. So on that, I leave all you wonderful people. So in Facebook today in 2 hours from now, will be a live radio show with AKA Radio Red on her show, Read My Lips. And so what I'll do is I'll maybe put the link in this description when I finish here, but that live will pop up in Facebook, and I'll try to share it into the group so you can find it. But she's really cool. I think you're going to like her, and you probably want to follow her show. And she has another guest on named Robert, and he's a rock star. So I'm going to get to talk with a rock star, and he's very interesting. And he became a rock star late in life. I think he was like 65. Whoa, Robert, how awesome. And so you get to meet Robert. His music's really good too. So great story, great music. I don't think we can go wrong, and we can all be like rocking out and losing weight and getting out of COVID. Okay. So you guys bring your questions on Thursday, and if I've missed something, gosh, I'm sorry. And I'll see y'all soon. Okay. And find you in the group. If you're new here, we have a big group in Facebook. So you got to find us over there, and find me here Thursday. So, okay, you guys, you take care. See y'all later.